Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Gretchen Stanton and I'll be your instructor this semester. I just wanted to say welcome to Chemistry 101. I hope you're looking forward to a good semester. I look forward to meeting you all next week. I just wanted to introduce myself and give you some more information about the course, so hopefully that takes a little bit of the anxiety away with starting a new semester. I have a list of a few things that I would like for you to do just to get you off to a good start. And the first being is logging into Canvas. So it's going to be the equivalent of Blackboard for us. And we'll talk more about that. But just logging in so that way you can look around and get that information. You're already watching this video, so you're already checking off box number 2. Make sure you continue on through the syllabus. So we're not going to spend a ton of time on the syllabus on the first day of class. I'll just be answering your questions. So make sure you continue through the video and also just jot down whatever questions you have so I can answer them on the first day. The last being, I would like you to come to my office hours sometime during the first week of classes. So this is your time to basically ask anything you like, get help with whatever you like. So I want to make sure you feel comfortable coming to see me. In doing that, I want you to write down your schedule so I have an idea of what classes you're taking and what your workload is like, so that way we can talk about study time. So those are the things that I'd like you to do by the first day of class and then coming to see me by the first week of class. Other than that, there are other things you can do to get off to a great start. So we're going to be using an online homework system that is Mastering Chemistry. So you can go ahead and log into that and you can get started on assignments if you like. There are plenty of things on Canvas under modules that go by chapter, so you can take a look at that and get started if you like. But again, I just wanted to say hello and welcome to Chemistry 101, and I will see you all next week.
Here's our class syllabus, and I wanted to just take you through the most important parts. We have a reminder of the times that we're going to meet. We'll have lecture 3 times a week, problem session on Fridays, that's mandatory, in lab. We have all of my contact information here, so the best way to reach me is going to be my email, and here's my office phone. Website. We also have a class Facebook group, so I encourage you to go ahead and join that if you're on Facebook. You can post questions, snapshots of things that you're working on. If you find any great resources, you can post them for your classmates. So please join our Facebook group. Very important. I have my office hours here. So again, this is your time to come in and ask whatever you like. So you don't have to schedule an appointment or let me know you're coming. Just walk on into my office. And if you're not going to be on campus during these times or one of these times and you still want to meet with me, I also have an online office hour. So that's via Fuse meeting, and all you have to do is let me know in advance so I can make sure I'm on during that time. One other thing I also like to point out is that you're always welcome to schedule an appointment if you can't meet with me during these hours. So there's always an opportunity to meet with me and get the help that you need. Here's just a little bit more information about why we're learning chemistry for your particular career path, and also a little bit about my teaching philosophy. So I'll let you go ahead and read that. We have, I guess the most important part here is going to be what you need for the course. So we have different things that you're going to need for lecture and for lab. The first being a textbook. So if you get it in the bookstore, it will come as a textbook that's combined with your online homework. So it will give you a course code for Mastering Chemistry, and you have the prices here. You also have, when you use the code to log into Mastering Chemistry, you need a course ID, so you'll find that right here. Another thing that you're going to need is a non-programmable scientific calculator. So not one of those expensive $100 calculators. What I recommend is getting a TI-30, which cost about $9 at Best Buy. Or they probably have them in the bookstore as well. We're also going to be doing some flipped class lessons. So if you haven't heard of this, it means that for a flipped class, you're going to be either watching some video lessons at home, Or what I have posted are startups, so going through the book and answering some questions before you come to class. And this will allow more class time for us to work through problems and go into more deep discussions about the material. So for the videos, including like the one you're watching now, you need to have a TED-Ed account. So every single time you complete one of these lessons, you want to log in so that way you get credit for it. So I see that you did the lesson, but you need to create a TED-Ed account. So that's important. You have pictures of everything you need. So this is our textbook. We have two different things that you'll need to buy for lab as far as books go. So one is going to be the lab manual. So that's going to be this, the Catalyst. And you also need the lab safety packet. So even though it's called a lab safety packet, it has some exercises that we're going to be doing in there. So you need both. You also need goggles. They have them in the bookstore, but you can also get them from like Home Depot or Lowe's. Uh, you're welcome to buy them wherever you like as long as they have the splash shield. So if they're the huge, uncomfortable looking ones, you probably have the right ones. Other things for lab, you need to wear closed-toed shoes. You also need to wear long pants, but we'll talk about that more on the first day of lab. So as far as grading, I'll let you go through this and we can talk about it in more detail. But here's your point breakdown. So you can read through this in more detail. We're going to be having 4 exams, 4 regular exams throughout the semester, and I will take the top 3 and 1 will be dropped. We're going to have unannounced lecture quizzes, so they'll be short 5 to 10 minute quizzes that are unannounced, and that will be worth 8% of your grade. Homework is going to be mastering chemistry, and the nice thing about that is that there are a lot of extra problems, and those are for extra credit. So the maximum is still 100%, but if you don't do so well on certain assignments, you have plenty of opportunities to make it up. So your laboratory work is going to be worth 20% of your grade, so it's going to be a combination of lab reports and exercises, also 5 quizzes and a final lab quiz. I can't stress enough that 20% is a very large percentage of your grade, so just make sure you're doing a good job at keeping up with the assignments, and as long as you're turning everything in and formatting it correctly, asking questions so you don't lose a lot of points on those assignments, it should be a large boost to your lecture score. So I can't stress enough to really pay close attention and do the best you can in lab. We're also going to have 2 unit exams, so these will be separate from the 4 regular exams, one on our organic and biochemistry unit, and our final exam will be another unit exam that combines kind of some of the material we did at the very beginning and at the very end of the semester. Those cannot be dropped. The last category is participation, and even though it's only worth 4% of your grade, if you're borderline between 2 grades, that could make a difference. So the things that will go into your participation grade are 1, completing the startup assignments for each chapter. So again, these are things that you'll complete before you come to class, looking through the chapter, answering some questions to get you ready for the lecture. Also, we're going to be doing a lot of group work in class, and we're also going to have weekly problem sets that we'll also do in class. So all of that will go into your participation grade. Looking at the TED-Ed lessons and completing those assignments will also go into your participation grade. So the next thing in our syllabus are just a few tips for success in Chemistry 101. So I won't go through all of these, but I want to stress a few of them. And the first one is attend office hours. So this is, again, this is your time to get help with whatever questions you have. And really the students that tend to perform really well in my course are the ones who come to office hours often. Okay. We're going to be doing a lot of in-class practice, so attending lectures, all lectures, problem sessions, and lab, it's going to be very important. Doing the startup assignments, I can't stress that enough because it gets you thinking about the material that we're going to talk about in class. Another thing is, again, completing all of your lab work because you have to pass lab to pass lecture. So keep up with the assignments, and if you need help, come see me. Practice. So getting better at the different problems we're going to work on just requires taking the time out to really just work through a lot of problems. The more problems you work through, the easier it will become. So practice, practice, practice. Um, the last thing I'll mention here, and I'll let you read the rest, is to just take advantage of all the resources you have. You have the tutoring center, there are chemistry tutors there. There are STEM student helper and STEM pals. So right outside the faculty offices there are some tables, and you have students who have taken the class before who are there available almost every day of the week to help you with your chemistry problems. So it's free. Take advantage of that. So the next thing is going to be our lecture schedule, and this just gives you a day-by-day idea of the topics we're going to go over. Okay, so I've also listed textbook problems here. I want you to note that these are not the due dates for the textbook problems. So it's listing the exact same problems that are in Mastering Chemistry, but I just wanted to put them here just in case you want to go through the problems on paper before you log into Mastering Chemistry. So again, these are not the due dates for the homework problems. Now, you do have startup due dates here, so those due dates are accurate. Okay, so all of the startup assignments can be found on Canvas, and I'll show you where those are in a moment. But you want to have them ready to go on the date indicated. So there are a few homework problems that are highlighted in red, and those are going to be ones that you're not going to complete on Mastering Chemistry, but you're going to write those out on a sheet of paper and turn those in. So especially when we get to the organic chemistry section where we're drawing out a lot of structures, some of them are just easier to do on paper. And for those, I'll let you know what the due dates are once we get to them. One thing I recommend doing is putting in your phone calendar all of the exam dates so you have those ahead of time. Maybe set a week or two reminder for yourself for when those exam dates are. Okay, so you have all of that. Why don't we take a look at Canvas? So you should all receive an email invite to log into Canvas, so you just need to create a username and login. And here, I just want to go through the most important parts. So here's our home page. And again, you have my office hours here. There's also an app that you can download to your phone if you want to use your phone to get into Canvas. The most important things are going to be modules and files on this side tab. So if I click onto modules, it has everything organized by topic. Okay, so we have the things that we're going to work on the first week. We have things organized by chapter. So for example, you have your chapter 1 startup right here. You have some TED-Ed video lesson assignments to work on, handouts, and then some extra tutorials. But those will be always organized by chapter. So the next important tab is files. So here you can find pretty much everything, and here's how it's organized. So exams and quizzes, all of the handouts, any problems that we work on in class, problem sets. One thing I want to bring your attention to is the learning outcomes by chapter. So these are the startup assignments, and you can go ahead and look at them. They're already all there. So once you click on one, it will have two important things there. So the first is it outlines everything that you need to know from that chapter. So I think one question is always, well, what's going to be on the exam? What do I need to focus on? It has it already outlined. These are the exact things that you need to know from each chapter. And then underneath, it will have a series of questions that allow you to go through the book and start to read through to answer those questions before you come to class. But you can always get ahead, so they're already all here. You can take a look at those. Our syllabus, I want to point out that All of these are live links, so you can just click on the links to get to the different sites that you need. The next thing is going to be our lab schedule. So it outlines what labs we're going to be doing on each day. We have two materials we're going to be working from. So the first one is the lab manual. So if you see a starting page here, that means that it's coming from the lab manual. And then if you see the double asterisk, that means it's coming from the lab safety packet. So I know it's a little bit confusing. If you see an assignment on that day that has a starting page, meaning that it's coming from the lab manual, that means there is a pre-lab assignment. So if you turn to that page, after reading through the lab, there's a page that says pre-lab, and that's something that you have to complete before you come to lab. All right, so again, anytime you see a starting page number here, that means you do have a pre-lab assignment. So here's just a little bit more information about lab. Again, it's worth 20% of your grade, and you need to have a 65% overall in lab in order to pass the course. So lab is a very important component of the course. We're going to have 5 unannounced quizzes. There are no makeup quizzes, and they start at the very beginning of the lab period, so make sure you come to lab on time. We're going to have 14 lab reports and exercises that will be graded. So you're going to be turning in everything, but I'm only going to grade 14 of those lab report / exercises. Okay, and the first 5 of those labs will be worth 10 points each. And as we move on throughout the semester, the last 9 labs will be worth 15 points each, so a little bit more. Your quizzes will be worth 10 points each, and at the very end of the semester, we'll have a final lab quiz, but we'll go into a lot more detail about what's going to be on that when we get to that point later on in the semester. Okay, so I won't go through all of these because we'll talk about it in a lot of detail on the first day of class, but we just want to be safe in lab, so here I've outlined some of the most important things we want to keep in mind while we're in the lab. Okay, so on the last page we have a few different things. The first that I want to bring your attention to is the resources. You have so many resources available to you, so I've listed at least most of them, but pretty much anything that you need, ask, because it's probably there. There's a resource already set in place to help you. And again, these are live links, so you can just click on them and it will take you to that website. We'll talk more about our classroom learning environment a little bit more on the first day. Since it is our class, I want to include you in that discussion. But I would like to point out one thing, and that is the cell phone policy. So I am okay with you having your phone out at your desk. But if I see you actively on it and working on things that are not relevant to what we're doing in class, I will ask you to leave. And that's because it is disruptive to the other students in the class. Okay, there will be some activities, some games, some different things that we do throughout the semester that involve your phone, and that's fine. And I'm okay with you having it out because I realize that some people have children, or just in case of an emergency, you want to make sure you have that available. But I want you to really focus and use your class time. So that is my cell phone policy. And then last, I just have a quick chemistry fact that you can read on your own. Once you go through the syllabus, again, on the first day of class, I'll answer any questions you have. But if you have any really burning questions before then, feel free to email me or to post on our Facebook page, and I'll answer whatever questions you have.